These are questions from the group na are not normally asked by the press corps, you know?
Yes. Ma'am, kayo ang press secretary or spokesperson during the Aquino, former President Corazon Aquino. So,
I was undersecretary and the spokesperson, yes.
So, paano naman po yung mga bibigyan nyo ng awards na napili like GSIS? So, paano nyo na po?
Alam mo, during the year, they come, we invite people, the institutions and individuals, we get the awards. We pick the awards. Oh, outstanding ito, gano'n.
Matagal na po itong Bulong-Pulungan.
28 years, dear.
And
28 years since EDSA.
yes, and we expect na mas tatagal pa.
Hopefully, because our credibility is very high.
Okay, thank you very much,
Thank you,
ma'am.
dear.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Si Miss Didi Sitangco po, isa po sa mga founder nitong Bulong-Pulungan. Samantala, nandito na rin po yung mga mahalagang bisita para sa Pulong-Pulungan. Siyempre, kasama na rin po dyan ang dalawang mahalagang individual ng Bulong-Pulungan. Yung pong dalawang founders nito na sina Miss Didi Sitangco, si Miss Julie Yapdasa, ang kanyang co-founder. Tinataya pong nasa 300 bilang ng mga bisitang darating dito na binubuo po ng mga pulungang core group members, mga natatangi o kinatawan ng pamahalaan at pribadong sektor. Ilan po sa mga inaasahan darating pa rin dito mula po sa Manila Bulletin, Philippine Daily Inquirer, The Star, Travel Light, DWIC, Magazine, Manila Times, Women's Home Companion at ibang associate members. Kanina po ay nakita na rin natin si DTI Secretary Gregory Domingo. Isa po siya sa mga tatanggap ng parangal para sa taong ito. Kabilang na rin po dito ang iba pang kasama na rin po sina ARMM Governor Mujib Hataman na isa po sa mga tatanggap pa rin po ng parangal ngayong araw. Ang Bulong-Pulungan po ay binuo noong 1986. Isa po itong grupo ng women journalists. Layunin nitong pulungin ang mga media members para po pag-isapan ang iba't ibang issues o topics na may kinalaman po sa ating pambansang interes. Pinapangunahan po ang forum ng core group na ito ni Miss Didi Sitangco at siya po ang dating naging membro po ng gabinete kasama nung sa ilalim po ni former President Corazon Aquino. Kanina naman po ay nakausap rin natin si Miss Didi Sitangco at sinasabi niya na ito nga daw pong Bulong-Pulungan ay tumagal na rin ng halos mahigit 20 taon at nagbigay po ito o nagsilbi itong venue para po magkaroon ng mga linaw ang mahalagang issues. Ngayong taon nga po, isa nga daw po sa isa sa mga gusto nilang makapanayam o matanong kay Pangulong Aquino ano nga ba ang kanyang magiging Christmas wish. Bukod po sa parangal na binigay kay Pangulong Aquino, mayroon din pong Exemplar in Environment Preservation Award. Tatanggap po ang Philippine Bamboo Foundation Incorporated ng Advocacy of the Year Award. Isa itong non-stock at non-profit organization na nakatutok sa research, development, and education on bamboo. Nagbibigay din sila ng mga pagsasanay sa reforest sa mga kanayunan at maging sa pagbuo at paggawa ng mga produktong galing dito na maaaring ibenta sa merkado. Samantala, ang Exemplar in Government Service Award naman po ay ibibigay sa mga public servants and private individuals na malaki ang kontribusyon sa kani-kanilang fields. Ang recipients po ng award na ito ay sina Autonomous Region of Muslim Mindanao Governor Mujib Hataman, Social Security System President Emilio de Quiros, Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office Acting Chairman and General Manager Jose Ferdinand Rojas II. Government Service Insurance System President and General Manager Robert Vergara at Chairman Daniel Lacson. Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation Chairman Cristino Bong Nagyat Jr., Metro Manila Development Authority Chairman Francis Tolentino, Department of Trade and Industry Secretary Gregory Domingo at Cabinet Secretary Rene Almendras. Si Pangulong Aquino po ay nandito na sa Sofitel para po sa pagsisimula ng taunang Bulong-Pulungang Forum. Ang forum po ito ang nagsisilbing venue para po talakayin kay Pangulong Aquino ang mga mahalagang usapin ngayon sa bansa. Ayon nga po kay Ms. Didi sa Tangko, napapanahon ang pagharap ni Pangulong Aquino sa taunang Bulong-Pulungan.
Benigno Bulong-Pulungan Christmas Party. 28th. May we now call on the co-founder and moderator of Bulong-Pulungan, former Press Undersecretary Didi MC Tangko, to give her welcome remarks.
Good morning. It's going to be short and sweet. Welcome, Mr. President. Welcome. Welcome to all our distinguished awardees and distinguished guests. We're very informal here in this Bulong-Pulungan Christmas party. Mr. President, this is already your fifth. And we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for always accepting our invitation. This year, we thought that we would expand the awardees list to show you that we appreciate what your people have been doing. And I'd like to mention here that this is the first time, for instance, that we're awarding a local government official, Governor Hataman from Mindanao, from the ARMM, because we know how dear the Bangsamoro is to you, sir. Actually, I left my notes. But anyway, and Rina was supposed to be our MC, but of course she was late. Anyway, she lives all the way in, we have a very interesting mix of awardees, as I was saying, Mr. President. And I really hope that what we're trying to do here in the 28 years, being a forum for constructive and informative news, giving people in government and private sector who are doing great things for the country a forum with credible journalists. From a purely lifestyle forum, we graduated into politics, economics, sometimes even the bizarre. But I think we have been able to establish firmly our use to the media world. We have expanded our membership to male members, Mr. President, those who would dare cross pens with us, like former Press Secretary Daki Paredes is now a member. And we'd like to be able to say also that we only print and we only broadcast good news. No, we're not naman mouthpiece of the administration, of any administration. But as I stand here and I see the faces of everybody who has contributed to our journey of 28 years here in Sofitel, I'd also like to pay tribute to the Sofitel people for tolerating us for 28 years. If you notice, Mr. President, even our title is a tribute to our second home, Bulungan sa Sofitel. So we're here every Tuesday noon, and this is where we discuss the issues of today. So again, Mr. President, welcome, and we hope that you will enjoy this small gathering. Well, it has become bigger every year. Because, Mr. President, when they find out that you are our guest of honor and speaker, everybody wants to break bread here. Which also goes to show, Mr. President, that you are, as our award says, the favorite of your boss still. So, do we have an MC now? Rina, do you have an MC? No, okay. It's okay. Secretary Almendra's here already. May I call on the next senior cabinet member, Secretary Greg? Would you like to do the honors of sitting with us, the next senior member of the cabinet? And also an awardee.
Okay. May we I guess with Ruby coming along, the President really took time out to be with us. Welcome to Pulungan, Mr. President. And for you, I will be MC at a moment's notice. May we request His Excellency Benigno S. Aquino III to witness the awarding ceremony to be led by Ms. Didi Sitanco. May we call on stage the following to receive their award. Mr. Edgardo C. Manda, President of the PBFIJ. He gets the Exemplar Award in Environment Preservation. May we now call on the Honorable Muji S. Hataman, the Governor of the ARMM, for the Exemplar Award in Government Service. May we then call on the Honorable Emilio S. De Quiros, CEO and President of the SSS, for the Exemplar Award in Government Service. May we then call on the Honorable Jose Ferdinand M. Joy Rojas, Acting Chairman and General Manager of the PCSO, for the Exemplar Award in Government Service. A season of joy. May we also call on the Honorable Robert Vergara, President and General Manager of the GSIS, for the Exemplar Award in Government Service. May we call on the Honorable Daniel L. Bitay Lacson, Chairman of the GSIS, for the Exemplar Award in Government Service. May we call on the Honorable Cristino L. Bong Nagiat Jr., Chairman and CEO of PAGCOR, also for the award in government service. May we call on Francis Tolentino, the Chairman of the MMDA, also for the Exemplary Award in Government Service. Congratulations, and may we call on somebody who's already on stage? Oh, no. Secretary Gregory L. Domingo, Exemplar Award in Government Service. Congratulations. And last but not the least, Secretary, the Honorable Jose Rene D. Almendras, another Exemplar Award in Government Service. Congratulations. Believe you me, he untangled the mess in Port area. I go there. And now the President will be presented with the Outstanding Exemplar Award Boss Favorite for his leadership achievements through various programs and reforms for good governance and economic development, among others, by Ms. Sitangco and Ms. Julie Yap Daza. May we call on Ms. Daza to go up the stage. Excuse me while I become a photobomber. Okay.
And now may I break protocol, sir? Do I have permission to break protocol? We have a very special gift from Bulong Pulungan made by the Philippine Bamboo Foundation artist. May I have the please? Being an Atenean, we thought that the President would appreciate this artfully carved bamboo from an artisan in Paete. It's all made in bamboo. So, sir, may I present to you the personal gift of the ladies of Bulong Pulungan. Again, another break from protocol. Can I call all my girls here and my boys? This is the first check, I think, that the DSWD will receive for the typhoon victims of the Ruby typhoon. This is 250,000 pesos from the members of Bulong and the Manila Bulletin family. So girls, Mr. President, Mr. President, ito po yung unang check niyo for Typhoon Ruby.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. At this point, may we call on the Cabinet Secretary, the Honorable Jose Rene D. Almendras, to introduce our guest of honor and speaker.
The distinguished ladies of Pulungan, the other distinguished guests here, ladies and gentlemen, fellow workers in government, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, His Excellency President Benigno S. Aquino III.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. Please sit down. Secretary Greg Domingo, Chairman Francis Tolentino, Secretary Almendras, Chairman Cristina Lagat, Governor Mujib Bataman, the other Pulungan, Mr. Edgardo Manda, Mr. Emil Quiros, Mr. Joy Rojas, Mr. Bernie Vergara, Honorable Bitay Lacson, members of the Pulungan Core Group, partners from the media community, fellow workers in government, honored guests, mga minamahal ko po kababayan, magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. As President, I look forward to every Pulungan. It has always been a pleasure to be with you as it brings back many memories, most particularly of the time Tita Didi and our good friends in this room helped Mom communicate the message of hope to our people. To me, you have always been a consistent, engaging group of respected friends and partners who never ask inane questions. Rather, I would have to admit, your queries are often presented in a thought-provoking manner, and thus every question from you is a welcome opportunity to reflect and find deeper insight. It is unfortunate, however, that our gathering once more comes at a time of concern. All of us here were looking forward to having a quiet Christmas this year, to taking a breather and finding the time to recharge for 2015. However, as you are all well aware, Typhoon Ruby confronts us as a nation. The recent days, in anticipation of this typhoon, have been filled with varying opinions and reports from our friends in the industry, and being with you brings to my mind the vastness of media's capacity to shape discourse, agenda, and the priorities of both government and society. Thus, allow me to share this example with you. On Tuesday, Secretary Mario Montejo of our DOST informed me that Ruby's estimated strength would be somewhere in the neighborhood of about 140 kilometers per hour, bringing with it heavy rains if it makes landfall expectedly on Sunday. Let us remember that now that Yolanda's maximum winds, based on some reports, were pegged at about 300 kph. On Wednesday, one of our major dailies headlined Ruby as Yolanda-like. We all know that the paper had to be printed on Tuesday, and thus the information that the report was based must have come from Tuesday's information. I was concerned with such a statement, and I had to ask Secretary Montejo to confirm this information. And up until yesterday, at the NDRRMC briefing, there was no indication or official analysis predicting that Ruby would be Yolanda-like in strength. At best, if Ruby struck, its strength would be more comparable to Pablo. One has to ask, what was the basis of such speculation? And don't we all agree that in reporting, we must always get the facts right, the angle right, and the news right, if we are to truly inform our people? Now, even as we ponder this point, let us bear in mind that it is the Christmas season, and it is incumbent upon all of us to demonstrate goodwill and good cheer. Yesterday's NDRRMC meeting or briefing reminded everyone, from those of us in government to our partners in the private sector, and even our friends in media, that we must do our utmost, leave nothing to chance, improve where we can, and match what we have done so well in the past. Today, it is my hope that from your pens will come the responsible, sober writing that will help foster the confidence we need as we weather this challenge again as a people. In the spirit of the season, allow me to express my gratitude to you for being exemplars of your profession. Interacting with you always highlights the fact that you are women and men who enjoy respected status in our media. You are journalists who have paid their dues to propel the standards of your profession. You are widely quoted as influencers in our society, and you are free to say what you think with a sure audience ready to listen. As you have earned the respect of our people, you have no other motivation than to do what is right, to voice your informed and honest opinions, to stimulate relevant and productive discussions, and to set a standard in newsmaking that caters not to the mob, but to the truth. May you continue to serve as exemplars who adhere to the most fundamental principles of journalism, principles which have served to enlighten our nation for generations, principles that inspire our people to action, principles that remind us that we can achieve so much more when we rest our faith in each other and, of course, in the Lord Almighty. I look forward to your thought-provoking questions, and might I preempt you, though, regarding one question that is always asked here, the one about my love life, to which the answer remains the same. Thank you, and I wish everyone a meaningful Christmas.
Now begins the fun part for the President. And the easy part, sir. The members of the core group, this is the reward for their loyalty to their attendance during the year. I allow them, I'm the mother hen here and the dictator. So. And I allow them to ask questions of the President during this time of the year. Joanne, would you like to start? Ms. Joanne Ramirez of Star.
Good morning, Mr. President.
Morning, John.
Mr. President, perhaps I prepared this question before Ruby. I heard of Ruby, so I was going to ask you necessarily because I know JFK seriously thought of running for senator after he stepped down from office, and he didn't think it was a downgrade or something. So your plans after 2016, when you could, would you run for another office and serve?
After 2016, I think the foremost on my mind, together with my cabinet, is to take at least a year break and recharge and recover from all the tensions, turmoil, concerns over the past 6 years by that time. So I think I will try to look for a means to serve in another capacity rather than elective office.
Secretary Domingo, in fact, said that he was not afraid of the future because you would be there as fiscalizer.
Well, I think there are very many roles that can be done, not just in politics. And perhaps I owe it to those closest to me, especially my sisters, for instance, and even some of my staff who have been with me since Congress. They are all looking forward to some time off.
Thank you and Merry Christmas, Mr. President.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Joanne. Ms. Rina. Rina Jimenez David of Philippine Daily Inquirer.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. In fact, the question I had in mind was to ask you, what is the first thing you would do when the new president is inaugurated? When you come home from Luneta and the new president is sworn in, what are your personal plans? Where would you go? What would you do? What would be the first thing on your mind?
Well, going back to times when staying in my own bed, in my own house will be and relishing that point, no? And perhaps looking forward to the following day when I don't have to wake up too early. I can laze around and get used to living in times again. Then perhaps visit the neighborhood joints like the supermarket and the fast food joints all around.
You were saying that you were thinking that there were other ways to serve after you leave office. Is there a particular field? Would you go like your mother did into cooperatives and NGO work, or is there a field of endeavor a special field of endeavor that you're thinking of?
Yung people from our political persuasion seem to note that there is how should I put it, a dearth of institutionalizing the lessons that have been learned. No? So perhaps one of the dreams is perhaps we can write a book to share the experiences. No? But more importantly, we really want to interact with the youth and really help shape the next generation so that we don't repeat the same mistakes. And in exactly what form, no, I'm not exactly sure at this point in time. We are concerned with today's issues.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Julie. Miss Julie Yapdaza, Manila Bulletin.
Happy Advent, Mr. President. I was listening to you preside over that NDRRMC meeting yesterday for all of 3 hours. And I'd like you to confirm or deny that from the way you were reacting to the presentation, you're somewhat obsessive compulsive. The way you pay attention to the minutiae of specifics, details, I think that was the first time we saw how your brain works. How would you describe yourself?
At the end of the day, I think I'm ultimately responsible for how this government works. And I want to impress upon everybody that it's not just doing something, but rather doing the right thing. And in certain instances, I really have to, how should I say, press and overcome the inertia of some of the members of the bureaucracy. And I think that question would be better put to the secretaries present who are who they claim are sometimes tortured and have to endure a thesis-like defense presentation whenever I have to ask the questions. But at the end of the day, I really want to be able to say to myself when I look at myself in the mirror that we have done everything that was humanly possible to address whatever issue it was. And I impress upon that on all the members of this government and not just in the executive that we do bear a responsibility to everybody. And we should not have a period where we are regretting that we could have done something and we didn't choose to do so. So perhaps that is my way of making sure that everybody is doing the utmost in their respective roles.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you grade the quality of the presentation? Were you very happy, slightly happy? Did you think you wanted more out of their inputs?
Some of it was a 3-hour meeting, but some of it was already in shorthand. For instance, the OST, of course, we had to learn about the science of all of this. We had to be clarified, precise, as to the precise meaning of all of the phrases and words and the jargon that was being thrown about, in hopes of being able to direct the necessary actions in a more precise manner. So I was very happy with the OST presentation. DPWH, when Secretary Singson says the equipment that are creating the Millennium Challenge Corporation's road in Samar is ready, which helped us in Yolanda, is still available. And they tell us that they are even more prepared than Yolanda. Then it doesn't have to be talked about too long. When the AAP and the PNP also say that their units, their personnel are pre-positioned to include the maintenance, the logistics supplies, then you're come. When the DOE says there is fuel abundant already in Leyte alone, also. No? So perhaps...
What grade would you give?
All of them. If I say they're at 80 or 90, they might relax. So can I just say that they're at 50, pending resolution of this crisis?
Did something like this happen before Yolanda hit? We were not so conscious about climate change at the time, no? Unlike this year.
Well, prior to Yolanda, you had Pablo, you had Sendong, that were localized in impact.
Like a dress rehearsal.
In a sense, no? We thought the Zamboanga crisis with 100,000 mouths to feed was big. No? Then Yolanda comes and it was 1.47 million families affected. And the sheer logistics involved, no? Transferring all of these resources from either Luzon or Mindanao to get it into the areas most affected, especially Region 8, where you had to clear the roads, where you had to clear the airports, rebuild the ports, and get everything organized was really a very, very severe challenge. It still is a challenge.
So we can say that tomorrow will be a much better scenario. That everything will be in place in a better way.
In terms of preparation, but of course, the track is not yet definite. No? There are 2 high pressure, I think you heard it yesterday, 2 high pressure areas that are impacting on the direction of Ruby. And dependent on how they
Converge.
influence Ruby's path, that will yesterday, for instance, I don't know if you caught it, but I was asking, so we are looking at this, the red portion, we are looking at this as the probable track. And then we shift the resources to areas where they will be safe. If there is a divergence from that path, will it not be that our resources are in the place where the most destruction will happen? So they have been, I think they're doing the actual planning to make sure that regardless, we're not putting all of the eggs in one basket. So regardless of where this track eventually finally settles, then we will be able to do a lot better than Yolanda. Of course, dependent on the magnitude of Ruby.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Next, Sandy, do you have a question? Sandy Masigan of Travel Life.
Good morning, Mr. President, and advance Merry Christmas. My question is, since you assumed office, so many young people like myself have decided to come home from abroad and, find a way to be able to contribute and help the country. And I know a lot of these young people would like to go and be public servants. So what advice would you give these future public servants?
I think it's parang inappropriate for me to say so, but parang it's like marriage. It's a commitment. If you're going to be honest, you're not going to get rewards in terms of financial considerations. No? The satisfaction will come from really impacting on people's lives, especially for us, those really on the margins of society, and your ability to be able to contribute. I guess it also flows from why is the situation as it is? I think I'm misquoting JFK when he said some people see things as they are and ask why, and he said, if I can remember the quote, he asks why not. So instead of having the same problems with each generation, having to repeat trying to address them, if we really put in our 2 cents worth, and we really contribute, then the next generation should be solving a different set of problems, and we are progressing. So, especially the young, you have, after college perhaps, easily you can do 5 years without being too delayed in your respective careers later on. And the energy that you bring in for those of us who are a little less young, added with our experience, really does make finding the solutions that much easier. So, at the end of the day, you can stay on the sidelines and complain till hell freezes over, or you can take an active part in it and be proud that, you contributed to changing the status quo, leading to the improvement of everybody's lives.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Sandy. Ms. Dominique Torrevillas of Star.
None? Many, too many.
Siguro, when you look at the economy, when you have all of those credit ratings upgrades, when you get the investment grade status would be one of them. When we started out, we said there will be an improvement of lives, and the economy really has to improve, and it has to be very inclusive. So when NEDA reports that there are about 2.5 million people lifted out of poverty, and this was just last year's figures, parang above the poverty threshold. There are, anyway, and 1.6 million net new jobs when manufacturing comes in, when TESDA has all of these graduates that have really improved their lots in life. I think the Sono, we highlighted one of them. He was a barker in Negros. He's now a senior supervisor at a BPO outfit in, if I remember correctly, Negros. Then you can go on and on with the list. Things are changing. When Undoy hit, for instance, I had a staff member whose house was in the path of Undoy, and I was a senator at the time, and asking so many people to assist her because we were in Mindanao at that point in time. I think we got to rescue about 36 hours later. And when we got back to the NCR, you see all of these tarpaulins wherein the DSWD is asking for donations. And we're going to Cyprus to now where we are pre-positioned. And besides Yolanda, I think we were ready to meet the disaster head on. We were not reactive, we were proactive. That makes me happy also. But I guess at the end of the day, when you see the renewed optimism and the attitude that is different in our people, no, where it seems nothing is impossible, that I think brings out the greatest elation. From that time we stepped into office where there was massive cynicism, where the primary goal was how to leave the Philippines, to now Sandy was just talking about the young coming back home. No, that again makes us all happy, makes all of this worthwhile.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dominique.
Yes, I have one more question.
You have another question?
How do you describe your relationship with the media? Has the media reported faithfully what you would like to be told the public?
Siguro like any product, no, you get what you pay for. There are certain publications that make it a point to not just say it's half empty, but almost totally empty, regardless of whatever the topic is. There are those that will tend to be objective, and but there is of course that temptation to be negative. You know, we had one dialogue in Tagaytay with senior members of the industry, and we were asking and we were appealing. We are all Filipinos here. Shouldn't there be a balance between the negative and the positive? And the reply was, that is not our job. No. I said, it is not your job when you help us grow the economy, when you help motivate our people. Why can it not be your job when you are part of the society? Why bring everybody down when there are good stories that can bring them up and have a balance? So I guess we have learned to deal with each other. No, and hopefully, I really try to strive for a consensus, and it's still a work in progress, be it the church, be it media, be it other sectors. You know, the appeal has always been, why don't you look at what we're trying to do? And if we can improve, we are always ready to listen. And if we are wrong, please do point it out. We want to correct it. No? But please don't start out dialoguing with us with a mind that is already closed. No? That is really such a waste of time and redounds to nobody's benefit.
Thank you.
Well said, Mr. President. Ms. Telma San Juan of PDI.
Good morning, Mr. President. We honestly wish you a merry, love-filled Christmas.
I'll talk to Joshua and Bimbi about it.
Since you already preempted my signature question, may I ask two questions? Well, I know the enormity of the task is such that it's hard to set priorities. But between now and 2016, when you step down, what will be your ultimate focus that you think has a long way to go pa?
The main theory is when I'm asked, for instance, so how do you perpetuate that which you have already started? Then at the end of the day, in sovereignty resides in the people really have to feel that there were significant changes and that they were responsible for these changes. So 2015 really is focused on demonstrating so many of the results, be it infrastructure, be it a better employment picture, be it more investments, and so on and so forth. So if there is a direct correlation that they gave us this opportunity, this mandate, we will be reaping the fruits in 2015 substantially. Therefore, we can have that picture of what can be achieved, building upon that which we already did. So the focus on 2015, again, is more intensified inclusivity of the growth in the economy and the empowerment of the people, and that this is very palpable to everybody. That is, I guess, the main focus for the remaining time.
How about the PPP, sir?
In PPP, we have already bid out 8. No, we awarded 8 actually. There are 15 in the pipeline. We should note that the previous 3 administrations had 6 solicited PPP projects. We have already surpassed that, and we think there will be a lot more, especially for next year.
You are known as a music lover. Has the presidency affected your music taste? In what way?
Well, music became more important. Number one, you look for the Great American Songbook, jazz standards at night to calm down, or sometimes religious songs when you really need to calm down. Sometimes naman you need to be filled with energy, so it becomes either rock or some dance music. Sometimes you need something really different to take your mind off things, so it becomes classical. Except rap, no? I still don't like rap, with all due apologies. No,
How about love songs?
if I can avoid them, I do.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Zelma. Now, Chai Santiago. May follow-up. Sir, can we allow Miss Julie a follow-up? Okay. All right. Please use the microphone.
I can't let this question go. Follow up. Speaking of music, to whom in the government, not just the cabinet, to whom in the government would you sing "Let It Go"? I see you haven't watched that movie, Mr. President.
Frozen, Mr.
I'm
President.
culturally
Frozen.
deficient in that aspect.
Let it go.
I really can't comment intelligently on that. No? Rene's version is not doing it justice. Perhaps I should watch that while waiting for developments of Ruby sometime tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Julie. Miss Chai Santiago, our blogger for...
Good morning, Mr. President. Speaking of religious songs, what will you tell the Pope when you meet with him?
I'm the host, and normally I let the visitor ask the questions or steer the discussions. And of course, he's the Holy Father. No? We'll have something like a maximum of 1 hour, and I'm sure there are so many people who would want to have an opportunity to be blessed by him rather in that 1 hour. So I guess I really will leave the discussion topics to him, out of respect.
What will you ask him to pray for you or for the what?
For the country. No? We are visited by so many typhoons, and they come in at very unseasonal moments, and they're very strong. We also have the earthquakes and the volcanoes. And our ability to stop the cycle of destruction and reconstruction. The goal really is to, when we reconstruct, it's better. It withstands the glowing intensity of the effects of global climate change better. And our people are spared the ravages of the increasing challenges. So I'm sure some are asking, why are we being visited with all of this? Always at this point when it is supposed to be the most joyous and most celebratory period of the year.
Thank you, Chai. Ida Sevilla of the Inquirer.
Mr. President, when you're no longer president and you're free to do what you can want to do, would you buy your dream car? And what is your dream car?
Can I check on 2015 models before answering that question?
There's some classic cars,
The classic, I'm really not into it. I really want to, when I turn the ignition switch, I want it to start all the time. I don't want it to be a labor of love.
Can I ask?
Okay.
Among your achievements at this point of your presidency, which one do you think will be the most lasting one, no matter who succeeds you, whether an opposition or Liberal Party?
When, for instance, we said good governance is good economics. To the 4.1 million families benefiting from the CCT, if somebody decides, those of you who have the least ability to impact your own lives, we will remove this, in fact, this crutch, this aid to you. They will say, why will you have to remove it? No? And they will have a voice, even if they have been empowered. When you have the students talking about better quality education, more opportunities everywhere. You name the particular sector of society, and they are demanding of government that which government should be doing to begin with. Then I think that will be the legacy. Instead of before of merely just accepting what is, they are now demanding what should be as a normal right. Then if we have been able to transform them into that, then I think it was all worth it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ida. Now, just so that the President won't think this is an old ladies club, I'd like to call one male member, a new male member, Bob Sosobrado of the Manila Standard, to ask a question. We have broken the gender barrier, sir.
Morning, Mr. President. First of all, I'd like to wish you well, and I hope you last your term so that you can get rid of more crooks. Secondly, I would like to ask you, have you ever found yourself talking or asking help from your parents on some crisis that the country was faced with? Did you ever get to that situation?
Yes, I think from the start to even last night, I was praying to both my mom and my dad and asking for strength, guidance, wisdom. Even if I don't pray to them, they serve as the inspiration. Whenever I face a crisis, I look at all the crises that they had to undergo and that they overcame. So I said, and normally I say, what I'm undergoing now pales in comparison to what they had to undergo with perhaps even less resources to address. So that serves, their life serves as an inspiration. Sometimes they serve also as a safety valve. My mom used to say something like, she'd pray to my dad and say, "Ano ba naman itong iniwan mo sa akin?" So now, the next generation says, "Mom, Dad, ano ba naman itong iniwan niyo sa akin?" But at the end of the day, just remembering their lives really does point out what had already been done. And it says, it's no longer just an abstract idea. It was really done. Therefore, there's no question that we can do the more or the same, especially since we're standing on their shoulders in their achievements. And a lot of other people contributed to where we are at now.
Good. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Bob. Now, Mr. President, it's my privilege to ask the last question. Sir, what is your Christmas wish for yourself and for the country? Before, I used to ask your mom that.
Para may Christmas to the Filipinos, family time. And hopefully, family. We have 10 million Filipinos supposed to be out of the country. And you'd want some contact between the 10 million and their families here. And quality time at that. Not centered on the material things. But rather really being able to relish each second that you have to spend with each other. So, the wish really is that we have that peaceful moment where we are not confronted with very severe challenges like last year's, and that we are focused on really just pausing and enjoying something that is so intrinsically part of the Filipino culture, which is having that family time. So if we are able to assist in maximizing that opportunity, then I think that is the central wish.
Thank you, sir. Now, just for the closing remarks from me also. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much to the group that asked. And we hope that you will be better in attendance next year. And sir, can we ask you, I know that we have a photo off with the core group, but can I break protocol and ask the awardees to come and have one picture with you? All the awardees with their trophies, please.
Kabila kami, kabila.
Siguro,
Atin niyo pong natunghayan ang naging open forum para sa tao ng Bulong-Pulungan Christmas Party with the President. Bago po magsalita at magkaroon ng open forum, tinanggap ni Pangulo Aquino ang 250,000 check mula po sa Manila Bulletin at Bulong-Pulungan para po ito sa donasyon sa posibleng maging pinsala na dala ni Typhoon Ruby. Ayon sa talumpati naman ng Pangulo, isa ito sa mga okasyon na talagang nais niyang puntahan dahil nagdadala daw ito, nagbabalik sa alaala ng kanyang butihing ina na si former President Corazon Aquino at ang magandang relasyon nito with Miss Didi Sitangco. Samantala, sinabi nga niya na sana nga ay sa nais ng Pilipinas na magkaroon daw ng matahimik na Pasko ay nagkaroon nga ng malaking hamon dahil sa Typhoon Ruby, pero pakiusap nga niya sa mga mamamahayag na magbigay ng factual information para naman daw maiwasan ang anumang pangamba sa publiko dulot nga ng posibleng pagtama o malakas na bagyong si Ruby. Ayon sa kanya, nitong Martes pa lamang ay nakipag-usap na sa kanya ang DOST at nag-ugnayan sila doon sa posibleng magiging lakas at pinsala ni Ruby. Samantala, doon naman po sa iba pang sinabi pa rin po niya sa media na bilang mga mahayag, inihiling niya na maging responsable sa pagbabalita dahil mahalaga daw po ang papel ng media sa pagpapalaganap ng tamang impormasyon sa publiko, lalo daw po na may mga ganitong sitwasyon o hamon katulad ng pagdating ng bagyong Ruby. Sa open forum naman po, naitanong kaagad sa Pangulo kung may plano siyang tumakbo after 2016, hindi bilang Pangulo sa ibang posisyon. Ang sagot po ng Pangulo, gusto niya na magkaroon ng isang taong break at ayon sa kanya, may mga paraan naman daw na makapagsilbi siya sa publiko na hindi naman na kailangan na maging opisyal pa siya ng pamahalaan. Ayon sa kanya, binibigay niya ito sa kanyang pamilya at sa kanyang staff na looking forward na matapos na nga ang kanyang termino. Doon naman daw po sa June 2016, kung ma-turn over na niya ang sa bagong Pangulo ng Pilipinas, sabi niya siya daw po ay babalik sa kanyang tahanan sa Times Street. Una niyang pupuntahan ang kanyang kama at babalik siya sa normal na sitwasyon. Bibisitahin niya una ang supermarket at ang kanyang paboritong fast food chain. Sinabi naman niya na isa naman po sa gusto niyang maiwan sa Pilipinas, sa publiko, yung ma-institutionalize yung reforms na ginawa na Aquino administration. Susulat daw siya ng posibleng libro para makita o ma-document yung mga measures na ginawa na Aquino administration para po yung maulit pa yung malaking pagkakamali sa bansa. Ito naman po sa naging tanong tungkol daw po sa naging NDRRMC briefing ng Pangulo, tinanong siya kung ano ang nasa isip na, kung sa daw yung nasiyahan sa briefing. Ang sinabi lang ng Pangulong Aquino, gusto lamang niya makatiyak na mailalatag na tama ang mga kahandaan. Ayaw niya nang may magkakaroon pa ng sisihan dahil gusto niya na maging ligtas ang kalagayan ng maraming Pilipino. Ayon pa rin sa kanya, pinalawak naman daw ang kahandaan ng pamahalaan sakaling magbago pa o magkaroon ng pagbabago sa galaw ni Ruby. Samantala, narito naman po ang isang panayam namin sa isa sa mga awardees po ngayong taon ng Pulungan, si Edgar Manda ng Philippine Bamboo Foundation Incorporation dito sa Pulungan. So, explain niyo naman po sa amin kung ano yung naging contribution ng Philippine Bamboo
yung Philippine Bamboo Foundation, ito yung 6 years Bamboo Forest Advocacy. Nagtuturo tayo nung parang pinaka bamboo forest sa rural areas sa mga tao na kailangan ng livelihood para mabigyan natin ng protection yung forest. Yung kawayan kasi, ito yung pwedeng pamalit sa kahoy. Ito yung isang commodity na napakaraming pwedeng gawin, no? Pagkain, bamboo shoot, charcoal para nating maproteksyonan yung ating itong forest sa kabundukan at hindi tayo bahain, no? Yung flash floods. Kailangan maintindihan ng ating mga magsasaka ang importansya ng ating kawayan sa kabundukan, biodiversity, etc.
Napapanahon kasi dahil yung mga nangyayari ngayon sa ating kapaligiran and yung tamang-tama para sa inyo dun sa award na environment preservation. So ano pa po ba yung mga pinaplano nyo to make sure or to ensure na magtutuloy-tuloy?
Importante yung ating DNR, DTI, tsaka DA magkaroon ng convergence para magkaroon ng mainstream yung project natin sa bamboo forest. At ang importante sa atin, magkaroon ng maraming bamboo forest sa mga kabundukan, lalo na sa Tacloban. Sa Samar, ito binabagyo natin tayo ngayon. Bigyan natin ng kabuhayan sila, bigyan natin ng forest cover para yung tinatawag nating flash floods hindi na mangyari uli. At protection sa ating mga halaman doon sa kabundukan at importante sa lahat, tayo ay maintindihan natin ang kahalagahan ng environment, kalikasan. Proteksyonan natin to.
Okay, maraming salamat po, Sir Edgar Manda.
Salamat din.
Magandang araw po. Si Mr. Edgar Manda, Presidente po ng Philippine Bamboo Foundation Incorporated. Samantala, marami pa rin po nga naitanong kay Pangulong Aquino na tinanong sa kanya kung ano daw po yung happiest moments niya bilang Pangulo ng Bansa. Ang sinabi ng Pangulo, kapag daw po gumaganda ang galaw ng ekonomiya at nagkaroon nga po ng upgrade sa ating credit ratings. Tapos sinabi rin ng Pangulo kung may nagtanong din kung ano daw po ang magiging pag-uusapan nila ng pagbisita dito sa bansa ni Pope Francis. Sinabi niya bilang pagrespeto, hayaan niya kung ano ang gustong itanong sa kanya ng Santo Papa. Pero hihilingin niya na sana ay ipagdasal ang Pilipinas at mawala na daw po dun sa cycle na parati na lamang tayo nakakaranas ng mga kalamidad at nalalagay sa panganib ang maraming Pilipino. Ang kanya naman po daw Christmas wish, sana naman daw po ay maging mapayapa, magkaroon ng masayang Pasko ang mga Pilipino at sana umiral pa rin yung tunay tatak ng Pilipino na pagmamahal sa kanilang pamilya. At bago po tayo magwakas ay nais po muna nating pasalamatan ang RTVM, ang IBC 13, PTV4 Radyo ng Bayan para po dito sa special nating coverage ng Bulong-Pulungan na taon ng Christmas Party. Muli, ako po si Rocky Ignacio. Maraming salamat po.